Hi, my name is Georgia Stamper. Oftentimes, when I'm trying to get to know a person, one of the questions I like to ask them is, what's your favorite movie? Many people struggle with this question because it's asking them to choose one out of a multitude of options they can possibly choose. So when I was posed this question, I started to think about what it is that I like to find in a movie. Some people like to watch historical movies because they want to be educated. Others want to scare their pants off for no reason that I understand. But for me, I like to be entertained by a story and feel good at the end of the movie. Based on this criteria that I decided, I figured out that my favorite movie of all time is Moana. This movie was released about a year ago, and it was Disney's first Pacific Islander Disney princess. So this was a really big step in the cultural movement for Disney. The story of Moana starts with this girl. Her name is Moana. She is the daughter's chief of her island, the chief's daughter in her island, and her island has been cursed by this darkness that is killing all of the food and all of the fish and all of the wildlife, leaving her people to start to starve. So Moana decides to take it in her own hands because she's been called by the ocean to return the precious gem that was stolen from the goddess that has the power to create life. Because returning the stone will rid their island of this curse. The only way that she can do this is by bringing the person who stole the gem in the first place, and his name is Maui. He's a demigod who many years ago stole this gem, not thinking anything of it. So Moana embarks across the ocean and she finds Maui, and together they incur many obstacles, but ultimately they fight this lava monster and they end up returning the heart to Te Fiti, and everything is, happiness is restored within her island. One of my favorite aspects of this movie is that the music is amazing. It's so fun, so catchy. It's really easy to sing along with, but it's also very broad culturally. Many of the songs are in a different language, which I think is really interesting, and they have a lot of cool different instruments that I've never really heard of before. So it's definitely something new. Another thing that I really like about this movie is the sense of a journey. It starts with Moana. She's this little kind of intimidated girl, she's kind of apprehensive. She's curious but doesn't really act on her curiosity because out of fear for her father's past experiences. But ultimately she surpasses her own expectations of herself and ultimately does a really fantastic thing for herself and her island. Also, the journey of Maui is very interesting because when we first meet him in the movie, he is really arrogant, really self-centered, and doesn't really have any kind of regard for anyone else. But by the end of the movie, he realizes the consequences of his actions and becomes a friend and a mentor to Moana, and ultimately is just such a better person holistically and really has a perspective on life. So ultimately, like I said, this is probably one of my favorite movies. I've watched it many times. It's also a really good family movie, so I personally really like it to watch it with my little brother. So it's just a really good throw on whatever you want, and so that's why Moana is my favorite movie. Thank you.